Cool. So thanks for coming along. And for those of you who couldn't make it, I know it's always difficult to pick a time. I tried to pick a lunchtime, but I know it doesn't work for everybody. So we are recording and you won't miss out. So my name is Mandy. I am a Thermomix consultant. I'm a team leader with Thermomix, and I do live in Melbourne. I love my Thermomix. I've had one for about 7 years. And I've gone TM31, TM5, TM6, just absolutely love it. The other thing I'm really, this isn't actually why I bought it, the sustainability aspect, but that has grown as I've had it, and also come across, you know, things change, you come across different things and your focus can change a bit. So I absolutely bought it from the health perspective. But now, I mean, that's still important, but you know, the sweet treats are pretty good too. And but it is very much sustainability is involved in it too. But it's not, I'm not just going to talk about Thermomix, I'm going to talk about what I do in my kitchen as well. So just to start off with, I am going to share my screen and just show you a few little stats. Okay, so yeah, helping save the planet. I believe that all of us, that every little bit we do, it is helping. So I don't know if you know this stat, but households throw away 3.1 million tonnes of edible food. That's close to 17,000 grounded 747 jumbo jets. We know there's a lot of them at the moment, but that's an awful lot of food. It costs households, you know, between $2,000 and $4,000 a year, and the amount that gets thrown out. 1 in 5 bags of shopping are thrown away, and I'm not saying this applies to you guys, but you know, in general, if you look at people in the supermarket, just even looking at that slide with all the plastic bags just does my head in. There's a whole lot of stats around food. Now, I am not a vegetarian, I'm not a vegan. But I just think it's really important that, you know, before we throw things away, or why we need to change our thinking too, it's not just the cost of the, you know, the money cost of things, it's also the cost on the environment and the planet. So you can see that animal foods, actually nuts, I eat a lot of nuts, but you can see that they all require more water to grow than a lot of the vegetables. So I think the idea of, you know, meat-free Mondays and just, you know, having more vegetables and a bit less meat in your diet can certainly help in regards to sustainability too. This is to do with the carbon footprint. So you can see, again, obviously the meat products are up on the right-hand side, and the plant-based things are on the left-hand side. I did notice chickens are orange, so that's not too bad, but obviously you want to get free range and organic if you can. Eggs and things. We see nuts down there, carbon footprints, okay. So keep having my nuts. So I'm sure you've all heard this phrase. This is what we're going to be talking about today. It's all about reducing, reusing and recycling. Okay. So on that topic, I actually found that recycling, I was pretty good at recycling, and this is very much a journey. So I was pretty good at recycling, although I've learned a lot. My sister-in-law is very into recycling, and I've learned an awful lot from her over the last few years. But what I wasn't very good at was reducing. And actually, if you stop bringing stuff into the house, you don't have to worry about what's going to happen to it. So, or if you are bringing things, I mean, obviously we're all going to bring food, and you know, there's going to be packaging on some of it into the house, but have a think about how it's being packaged. So just for a really easy example, when I buy Philly cheese, I buy it like this. I don't buy it in the double pack because that's got plastic around it. I probably pay a little bit more, you know, a few cents more for each block, but I buy it like this. I don't buy it in the plastic tub. So, and again, I'm sure you're aware, 1,000 years for plastic to degrade, which is a really frightening prospect. You know, I know our kids, our grandkids, great grandkids are going to be living on a planet that's just full of rubbish unless we do something about it. So thinking about it. Now, with the Philly cheese, I will just unwrap this. I'm sure you do know what it's like inside, but it has this silver-looking wrapper. that is plastic. Okay, so it's not, it looks like foil, it is not foil, it is plastic. So when you come to disposing of this, obviously goes into your normal recycling bin. The plastic goes into a separate bin. We have several bins in our house. I'll tell you what they all are in a minute, but this goes with my soft plastics. So being very, very aware of what you are actually purchasing and what you're bringing into your house is definitely a big place to start. And it wasn't my starting point. It was my, oh my goodness, why did I buy that? You know, I should have bought that because that I can recycle that properly. A lot of the plastics are recycled, but they can only be recycled a certain number of times. And then we're still going to come back to that same base problem that it's 1,000 years for them to biodegrade. Other things I've noticed in the supermarket too, if you go into the sauce aisle, you know, you're looking at tomato sauces, barbecue sauce, all those sorts of things. So many of them are in plastic. And that's where having a Thermomix is fantastic, because I just make my own now. I have a very eclectic mix of jars and bottles and things in my kitchen. We had someone from our branch do a really thing on how organized you can be in the kitchen last week, and I thought my cupboard's nothing like that. It's not that I don't know where things are. I'll show you. So in this cupboard here, I've just got all sorts of different jars. I've also got old coffee jars. You know, this obviously came with something in it. What to say? Something organic, coconut oil or something came in there. Then I've got, you know, marmalade or whatever they are, jars that I've used as well. And the same with my spices. So if I bought something like this in my pre-aware state, then I just take it back and get it filled up. So I don't go, I can't do that at the Royal Nut where it came from. I go to the source. I'm lucky enough to live close to somewhere where I can do that and get my containers refilled. So I can go up there and all those, the nuts, the coconut, all that stuff there, I just take my own jar, I sanitize it as I go in. They weigh it. So on the bottom of there, they weigh the empty jar with the lid on, and then you take it back and they fill it up and you pay for the difference in weight. I've got homemade curry powder. Don't need to buy it at the supermarket. It's actually really easy to make in your Thermomix. So I've got, you know, a very eclectic mix. I do know that my savoury stuff's on the left and my sweet stuff on the right, but it is not a super organised, everything, you know, in the right order, because, as I said, it's an eclectic mix of jars and things. Okay, that's that. Yes, so going back to your sauces, just make your own. There's so many great recipes on Cookidoo. What else have I got to tell you about? Yeah, so buying from the source is fantastic. And the other thing that I've really made a change with is things like chickpeas and kidney beans and things. You can obviously buy them in a tin, but you don't need to. With a Thermomix, you don't need to. So you can, well, you don't need to anyway, but you can buy them, even buying a plastic bag of them in the supermarket. One, it's going to cost you far, the dry ones, it's going to cost you far less money. It's also going to, it's less recycling. That will go into your soft plastics. But if you're lucky enough to live somewhere where you can go and get your things filled up, it's no packaging. You soak your beans and things overnight, and then you go on to, you need a blade cover for this for your Thermomix, and then you can slow cook them in your Thermomix, 2 hours, and you've got them slow cooked. It will make double the volume that you actually get in a tin. So when you're buying a 400-gram tin, you get 240 grams of the product in it. So if you're buying kidney beans, the 400-gram tin, you get 240 grams of kidney beans once it's all weighed and goes in a recipe. When you do it from, when you do the dry and you cook them, you will get at least double that amount, and for half the price. And all I do is freeze. I mean, the freezer is your best friend. A couple of years ago, we got the opportunity to get an eighth of a cow, a grass-fed, you know, organic cow, and we actually went out and bought a freezer so we could do that. So we don't have to buy the meat from the supermarket. I mean, I can't say that I always do that, but we have lamb, and we have organic lamb and organic grass-fed beef in the freezer. So it's worth having a decent sized freezer, even though it's a bit of an outlay at the beginning. All right, I do have notes here, so I'm just having a look. So obviously it'd be ideal if you could take your own container to the butcher. That's not going to happen with COVID, but you know, it would be an ideal thing to get back into. So the other great advantage we have with the Thermomix is Cookidoo. So plan your shop your plan. That's when you don't get left with waste at the end of the week. Also on there, the other thing that's really good to do when you've done that, I'm sure you've got the app on your phone. I would just take that shopping with me, but check your fridge, check your pantry before you go. Do I really need to buy those things, rather than having an excess of things? However, we'll just go on to Cookidoo. Share the screen. All right, so we do actually have a couple of great collections on Cookidoo. This is in America. We have 2 no waste collections, and they basically use up things that you could possibly otherwise throw out. They've got just trying to think of, that's some leftover things. Asparagus stem soup. So instead of throwing out those ends, you can turn it into a soup. Banana ice cream. Banana ice cream is just the best. I mean, bananas are just fantastic. You can use them in so many things. I mean, obviously with your fruits and you can just freeze them in chunks, and you can use them in smoothies. If you are freezing, I know my mother was extremely good at that. This still is extremely good at this. With your berries and things, just freeze them individually flat on a tray, and then pack them in something afterwards. It's reminded me, I've got something else I wanted to show you. I can't see it at the moment. I'll show you something in a minute. But yeah, root vegetable gratin, just chuck everything in, doesn't matter what it is. With your vegetable stock paste, when you make that, these is a good one. So almond pulp crackers, if anyone's making almond milk, it's the best way to use up your almond meal. This sounds really strange, the banana peel pulled pork. I have made that, and actually it's all right, particularly if you're a vegan or you're a vegetarian, I guess, and you don't want the pulled pork itself. It's actually the banana skin. You can also, Sarah Wilson, in one of her books, she's the I Quit Sugar lady, she's got a banana peel cake, and I've made that too, and it's great. It's just an odd color. You think before you bake it, you go, oh gosh, looks a bit grey, doesn't look very appetizing, but no, it tastes fine. So just a good way to use things up. Aquafaba, so if you did have a can, you can use the aquafaba in there. There's some, a few other, I thought there was more than that in there. Hazelnut blondies, they're really good. I've made them, that's hazelnut, I have to make, you have hazelnut pulp, but you can do it with almond pulp as well. I think I've missed a few. What have I missed there? Oh, I started halfway down. So there's an aquafaba butter. Sorry, I'm just going to move you guys out of the way so I can see what's happening. On this, the broccoli stem soup with crispy potato skins is delicious. I'll tell you what, if you peel your potatoes, don't throw the skins out. Just bake them in the oven, and they're absolutely amazing. And the broccoli stem soup is excellent. Anyway, there's a few ideas there for almond pulp, to use it all up if you're making your own almond milk. I have made the onion skin broth, and I did use that in that soup, in that broccoli stem soup. I found it a little bit on the bitter side. I need to try it again and just see what it does. But the other thing we can do in Cookidoo, if I just go explore, is, if you've got zucchini to use up, just put it in the search bar. I didn't even spell it right. There you go. And it's going to come up with all sorts of recipes that need zucchini. So there's no excuses. At the end of the week, you just see what you need to use up in your fridge. You whack it in Cookidoo, and it'll come up with options for you. With your veggies and things, what I do find is I normally, if they're sad and I can't use them up in something, then or it's not something I particularly want to do, or I've got myself covered for the rest of the week and I'm going to have leftover veggies, then what I do is just chop those veggies up and freeze them. And then the next time I make veggie stock paste, I'll pull them out. You do need to defrost them. It will not make veggie stock paste for you with frozen vegetables. I have tried it, let me tell you. So, but your veggie stock paste can have anything in it. We've got a recipe that's a base recipe. Don't worry about it. Just put in whatever you need to use up. Okay, so check my notes for anything else I've forgotten there. Oh, there's also a really great blended vegetable soup on Cookidoo. That's just whatever vegetables you've got, whack them into the soup. Perfect. All right. Just on that, with vegetables and things, you know, if you do, probably Robin won't be shopping at Woolies or something like that. They have the odd bunch. I absolutely applaud the idea of eating everything. The thing I find really frustrating is you usually have to buy 2 kilos of something, and when there's just 2 of us at home, it's not great. You love it too. That's cool. Thanks, Teresa. But one thing I wanted to mention about that, so this was actually odd bunch capsicums. This, how do you recycle this? What you need to do is you need to take off the label. That's soft plastic. You need to cut off the little end here that's got the metal tab in it. That's rubbish. The other end is rubbish, and the bit in the middle is soft plastic. Okay, so it's just being mindful about how you do that. With elastic bands, I just keep a whole box. I've got a whole lot of elastic bands, but you know, there's a lot of fruit and veggies and things that come with elastic bands around them. If you decide at some point you're going to throw them out, chop them first, cut them up, because you know, this sort of stuff, if it gets into the oceans or it gets, you know, into even landfill, there are going to be animals and birds that end up getting their necks stuck in here. So just always cut your elastic band if you're going to throw it away. Don't throw away a whole one. Now, a couple of other things. I found this parchment paper, baking paper. All right, this is from, I think this is probably from Seed and Sprout as well. I probably got it from there. So parchment paper is compostable. Okay, it's a brown color. I reuse everything as much as I possibly can, but this is compostable. So as soon as I'll try and use it a couple of times. If it's got meat on it, I don't, or if it's had fish or something like that on it, I don't. But if I baked a cake, I clean it off and I reuse. I still have a little bit of the norm. Oh no, I don't think I've got any other baking paper left. I just use this now. But with the other baking paper, it is rubbish. It doesn't compost. But again, I would use that as much as I possibly can, as many times recycle it. It's having said that, you know, don't throw things out. Just got to use things up before you then replace. The Thermomix have these great, so with our little rose gold trays, and they've got different sizes. They've got these little reusable mats that you can pop in. So that's fantastic. You don't need to use any baking paper or anything on there. You can just use that. They've got them for all the different sizes of trays. I was given this at Christmas time where I work. They give you a little gift, and we all got sustainability stuff. So these are, again, like the Thermomix, total mental blockage here, like the bread mat and the oven mats, which I'll show you in a sec. These are also of the same ilk. So you can just use this, and you don't have to throw things out. So it's just all reusable. Let's quickly roll them up. So that was from Seed and Sprout as well. Okay, what else have I got? I've got this, which I was given as well. This would also be from Seed and Sprout. This is made out of coconut fibre. So it is a scourer, but it's made out of coconut fibre. So anything that is made out of something that is compostable, so, you know, a coconut or any food scraps is compostable. So this, when I finish with it, I can throw in the compost. I came across a really cool crowd just yesterday. I can find their name. What are they called? It's called Great Wrap. And I just had a quick look at them online today, and they are making Glad Wrap stuff out of potato waste and food waste, so that when you use it, when you finish with it, so we wash all our Glad Wrap and hang it on the line. And we've had friends come over and they say, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, we're washing it and drying it because then we can put it in our soft plastics and we can take it to the supermarket and it can be recycled." And they're going, "Oh, who could be bothered?" Well, I think we all need to be bothered personally. You use the beeswax wraps, yes. Yeah, they're good too. So, but this I thought was fantastic, and they will give you actually a 15%. I just signed up today, and I've got 24 hours to use a 15% off discount thing. I actually don't need to buy any plastic wrap at the moment, but I will buy it for that 15% off, and I'll give some to my daughter as well. That's a pack of 2 or something like that. So thought I'd do that. So they are called Great Wrap. They are in Victoria. They're in Melbourne. They've just started up. One was an architect and one was something else, a winemaker or something, and they've just decided to do this themselves, which I think is amazing. So look out for them. A couple of other things. Haven't graduated this yet because I need to buy the other bit to go with it. But this is a dish bar from Seed and Sprout. So I never actually knew these, but my husband recognised it from, smells lovely too, from his childhood. But I am growing up in the UK, and well, with my parents, I never saw them. But apparently, you have those metal containers that you put your soap in, and you whoosh it through backwards and forwards through your water, and that will create the dishwashing for you. So it's come in a tin, so that's reusable. We can find a different way to reuse it or recycle it. And the paper obviously can be recycled as well. Now, stickers you can't recycle, they are rubbish. So we were actually lucky enough to get away to Cairns recently, and my sister-in-law's there, and she was cutting out. She said she's got the plastic, she couldn't get the stickers off, so she actually cut round the sticker, put that in the rubbish, and put the plastic into the soft plastic thing. The other things I've got here are, this is one of the Thermix cleaning brushes. So when you go onto the Mix shop, there are 2 types of brushes. They've just gone, absolutely to my disgust, okay, they've just gone super colourful plastic brushes. This is, can't even think what it's made of, but it is recyclable and will compost. It's bamboo one. So it is slightly more expensive than the plastic ones, but it's not going to be around for 1,000 years. And so yeah, anyway, I was a little bit cross about that. But so if you do need a Thermomix cleaning brush, I would absolutely urge you to get one of the bamboo ones. It's a couple of dollars more than the plastic, but you know, we're talking about our planet. Aldi, every now and then they have specials, and there's another girl, Moira, who's very much into sustainability, and she'll message me and say, do you want any? They're on special. So they have a few different, again, bamboo brushes, which are just so much better for us than the plastic ones. What else have I got here? Oh, of course, you know, going to the supermarket, just use your reusable bags for your fruit and veggies. And the only thing I still buy in plastic, I have to say, is spinach leaves, because actually I want the baby spinach, and I haven't found a way yet. I've got to have a look at Tupperware or something to get a container in my fridge so that it won't wilt. You know, otherwise I throw it away, and that's a waste too. The reusable bread bags too. From you can get these in the Mix shop too. You can also get these sort of things in there as well. And then we have this is our rubbish bag. Okay, so this is compostable. Again, it's called a bio bag, and our rubbish bin, so our recycling bin gets full in 2 weeks, or you know, pretty full in 2 weeks. But our rubbish bin, we could probably put it, I mean, we do put it out because some of the things that get thrown out, you know when your meat's sitting on those little things that to keep it fresh, they're really smelly. So we do put it out each week, but honestly, that's how much is in the bottom of our rubbish bin, because we just really try and recycle and reduce and everything. So yeah, so absolutely, if you can avoid bringing things into the house. The other thing, and this isn't kitchen related, but the other thing is things like in the shower. Well, I don't actually like soap. But I've nearly finished my shampoo, so I'm going to move on to the bars of shampoo and conditioner. I have a glass container in the shower, which my husband shudders about, but I can refill that with my you know, shower gel. We've got the bamboo toothbrushes, and you know, it's just really thinking about. I've got a deodorant, which you can buy in a glass jar rather than in plastic, which I'm really excited about. So it's just really thinking about all those things and just having that foremost in your mind when you go shopping. Now, what am I buying? Is there a better way of packaging? Is there better packaging I can bring into the house rather than plastic? So I'm just going to finish off with just a couple of other things. Obviously, if you can reuse something, so you can tell my jars, I just reuse jars the whole time, and if you can use them, I mean, they'll make a vase, just whatever you've got. If there's another way of using it rather than just putting it into landfill, think about that. We have, with our rubbish, we have what's known as the mystery box. So this is one that we put stuff in and we work out what we're going to do with it later. So things like your foil, you can absolutely recycle that, but it needs to be this sort of size, otherwise it will slip through and it will end up in landfill. Things like, to my birthday, I was given, kids gave me some chocolates. So this wrapper, we sit there, little tip, if you do this, it makes it easier. We sit there and we pull apart the wrapper. So the foil, it does come in little tiny bits like that, comes into here, it gets packaged up with the other foil, and when we've got a fistful, that will go into the recycling, and the plastic goes into the soft plastic. Okay, I've seen something recently, I'd need to find out what it is, but just these, there's somewhere where you can recycle those as well. Corks, if they're real corks, will actually biodegrade. So and we just have a few things. So like top of a champagne bottle of these things, we just collect them all together, have a tin, fill it up, and then squash it together so that stuff doesn't come out, and then put it in your recycle. So just different ways, the places, Officeworks will recycle batteries. I don't know, we've got a couple of globes in here, I'll have to have a look at that. So we just put all those things in there, and then every now and then I go through it. Just put that out of the way. A couple more things about recycling. Let's have a look. So, obviously bottles and glass are obvious, and if you can reuse them, reuse them. Plastics with the logo on it, it tells you if they're recyclable or not. The soft plastics, we just collect in a plastic bag. I might have packaging from a Thermomix or something that you get a big bag from. I'm going to take my own shopping bags to the supermarket, but put all your soft plastic in there. It needs to be dry, which is why it needs to be clean and dry. So that's why we wash it and hang it on the line, or dry it inside if it's wet. And then you can take that whole bag. The supermarkets have a recycling, so Coles and Woolies both have recycling bags there. It goes to Red Cycle. Red Cycle then use that plastic to make, it could be plastic bollards or whatever. So it's still plastic, but it is being recycled. It's not just going into landfill. Bread tags. So I did see somewhere that some people are changing their bread tags to compostable ones, so rather than the plastic. But in the meantime, you can recycle bread tags. There is a facility you'd need to Google, but just recycle bread tags. That's all you need to Google. You can start a collecting point for them, and they can be used for wheelchairs, for making wheelchairs. So that's pretty cool. And there's an amazing shop. We've got friends who live in Robe in South Australia, but this shop is also online called Transmutation. We've been in there. They've made tumblers, they've made breadboards out of bread tags, and they've got a whole lot of different things. So you might have a backpack, and the backpack is made out of some truck canvas, so it's just so good to see people doing that. TerraCycle is another crowd, so TERA Cycle. They're funded by brands and manufacturers from around the world. So things like your toothpaste and toothbrushes, Colgate will recycle them. Electric toothbrushes, apparently there's a David Jones Beauty Recycle, which is also available in store when you can get into a store. Fairy washing up liquid, they also do something through them as well. Gillette, Nescafe and Lavazza. So that's TerraCycle. The foil I've told you about, baking paper I've told you about, the Glad wrap I've told you about, plastic bands I've told you about. The last one really, and I know this isn't kitchen, but is clothes. There is a crowd called Apparel, so it's up and then PAREL, and they will take, you know, bits of fabric. They will take, you know, your old clothes. You will, okay, cool. That's cool, Teresa. Thank you. Packing cubes made from plastic bottles. Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah, so this apparel place, they will, that you can ask for a bag. They will send you a bag. You pay for the bag. You send your clothes back there, your socks or whatever it is, and then that gives you credit to buy some recycled socks. Well, they're not recycled socks. They're socks made out of recycled material. So so that's a really a great thing as well, which I recently found. And one thing I just wanted to, before we finish and before Bernie, if you've got questions, is to just talk about the difference between biodegradable products and compostable products. So biodegradable products will biodegrade, but if it's a plastic product that's biodegradable, it will biodegrade into little tiny bits of plastic. And, you know, it will end up in the ocean, it will end up being eaten by the fish, and it eventually will come back into our bodies. Compostable means exactly like these new, the Glad Wrap stuff, what's it called? Great Wrap, is made out of things that are going to break down, so they're, you know, vegetable based or something like that. So I think that's a really cool distinction, because I always thought, oh, biodegradable, you know, that's a really good thing. But I think this is just a journey, and you keep learning more along the way. And hopefully that was of some use to you and can help you a little bit, even, you know, with your Thermomix and also just generally in the kitchen. So I'm just going to open up now, you guys. If you've got any questions at all, feel free to come off mute and ask, or anything you'd like to add. You've learned a few things. Thanks, Teresa.
Oh, thank you. I've learned so much.
Yeah.
Really good. Yeah. I'm a member of the Friends of Cape Shank. It's a community group.
Yeah.
And on my letterbox, I have 4 tins, and I collect tea bag tags.
Yeah.
Another one is old spectacles.
Yeah.
I collect the bread tags and the milk bottle tops. And so people do a lot of walking around this place because it's a golf course.
Yeah.
And I have to check it every week and empty it. And then a lot of it I take to the Merbau North Community Opportunity Shop, if we're down in Gippsland, and they recycle most of all of that. Now, the Friends of Cape Shank, I think there are about 3 or 4 homes in the area with these collection boxes.
Yeah.
And one of the other ladies who collects, she's also collecting the medicine packages that you show.
Yes.
So I do part-time nursing at an eye clinic, and I have some patients actually who bring in their medication, because they're all old. They bring in all their medication used packages. So I'm getting quite a collection of that, plus their tea bag tags and milk bottles. So it's just making that awareness to people.
Absolutely. It absolutely is. And that sounds fantastic what you're doing down there. And Merbau North's a bit of a drive for you.
Oh, we go periodically down to Gippsland, so it's no trouble to go by.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. That's great to hear, Robin. Thank you. But Teresa?
No, I've got nothing more to say. I happened to be in the library a few weeks ago, and I got this really good book called Waste Not.
Oh, yeah, cool.
I'll put a photo and put it in the group.
Thank you.
And it's by Erin Rhodes, aka the Rogue Ginger, and she's one of Australia's leading eco-bloggers.
Fantastic.
It's chock-a-block, like every aspect of life, even babies and weddings and every aspect. It's really quite fascinating.
Oh, that'd be great. Thank you.
And I didn't know until I started crocheting that people are making out of cotton, and I'll be doing this as well, the little cotton wool pads for makeup, for removing makeup and stuff. They're making all sorts of things. I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm starting to see them in those little alternative type shops. And they're really fast and easy to make, and they're so cheap, just out of cotton thread. So yeah, like anywhere we can sort of cut down is brilliant. So
Absolutely, I totally agree. Because I was just thinking then too. I've seen there's one crowd. I can't remember if it was BioMe or Seed and Sprout. They're doing like floss, you know, tooth floss
Yes.
in not in plastic but in tins. So there's you just got to have a look around, and there's a lot of people doing a lot of stuff, which is great. But we just need to, you know, I love the fact that you guys came on today. We need to get it out more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you know of any? Because I love my electric toothbrush. I've seen the bamboo ones, and I go, oh, but I like my electric toothbrush. Is there an alternative for that at the moment, or is that?
I don't know, but it does say that because I looked that up. That TerraCycle. They do recycle electric toothbrushes.
No, but I don't want to keep.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I don't know is a question. I don't know. Robin, have you got any thoughts on that?
No, I don't know anything about
No.
that.
Okay. All right. Well, we do the best we can where we can, hey?
That's exactly right. I mean, it's like I do have a plastic blade brush for my Thermomix because I've got nothing else that is anywhere near as good. I'll just show you. I would if I could find it, but no. Oh, here it is. I've got it. So I do confess to having that, but it is so good for cleaning your blades. It's really solid, and there is no alternative. So I think, you know, you do what you can where you can, and occasionally if there's something that you're not quite 100% happy with, but it's the best that's on offer, that's what you do.
Yep. It's progress, not perfection.
Exactly right. Yeah. Robin, anything else from you?
No, just thank you very much for offering this session. I really enjoyed it.
That's a pleasure. Well, thank you both for coming along. Felt it's much better than talking to myself. And getting your input and hearing about what you guys are doing. It's great.
Yeah, I'd love to know more about you know, at the start you took us through. Was it Cookidoo?
Cookidoo, yes, yeah.
Yeah, if we could see some more of that when I finally get my Thermi back.
Yes.
I'd like to make my own oat milk and stuff like that, because I've been buying the oat milk and I really prefer to. And also even the liners of those packs I'm really concerned about for my own health, but also it's just they're so easy to make.
Yeah.
That most of us could really do that, and much more affordably as well. So
we just need the border down for you, so you can get back to your Thermomix. Get your Thermomix to you
out of storage. Like my new sort of tagline now is good for you, good for your pocket, and good for the planet. Kind of thing.
Absolutely, perfect, wonderful. Yeah, cool. All right. Thanks, ladies, for joining me.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Pleasure. Bye.